Hello and welcome to Telegraph Studio and Business Reporter's Finance and Banking campaign, hosted by the Telegraph Online. I'm Alistair Greener and today I'm talking to Theodore Krintas from Profile Software. Good morning.
Good morning.
There have always been a lot of regulations in the financial industry, but no more so than in the last few years when we've seen a whole raft of new regulations coming in. Tell me about some of the key new ones that are coming in and the trends and changes that we need to be looking out for.
Well, let me at the beginning tell you, Alistair, that this is not the first time that we've seen re-regulation in this market. It happens always after a crisis, and especially a financial crisis. So there are three ways that the regulators are trying to tighten the whole environment. The first one is the information towards the investor, and that's MiFID. We had MiFID 1, now we have MiFID 2. The second has to do with risk management practices that the financial institutions follow, because they need to make sure that they do everything in the right way and that they don't accept excessive risk on their own balance sheets or for the clients. And the third one has to do with the markets, that the markets are operating in the proper way, that there's no market abuse, etc. And along these lines, we see the industries in general, because it's the financial industries, also the software vendors, that we need to follow up and see it as an opportunity to offer new services.
But it's not, of course, just the burden of financial regulation that's disrupting the industry. There's also, of course, the new FinTech companies who are coming in and disrupting and innovating the industry. So how are they upsetting the status quo, if you like?
Absolutely, it's the FinTech companies that are changing the whole environment. What we are seeing, at least the way I understand it, is that while during the 90s and the 2000 onwards, the concept for the financial institution was one of the financial supermarket. In other words, you get into a branch of a bank or a financial institution, and you do all sorts of financial services. They had all sorts of financial services. You could cover all sorts of financial needs, from depositing, getting a loan, buying a mutual fund, sending money to your kid abroad, etc., etc. And that was the financial supermarket. Now we're streamlining, and this is what the FinTech institutions are doing, from the financial supermarket to a single service offering. So now you have a FinTech company, which does not need to be a bank or something like this, offering a single service of sending money abroad or even within the same country. And by offering that, they offer also operational excellence, because they know deeply any details of the service. They also know deeply all the regulation about the service, and they help clients to time their matters better. And of course, do it using their mobile phones.
All these changes, how do businesses respond to that, and where should they be spending their money?
Well, the interesting thing about businesses is that we see the established businesses, what we also call traditional, to respond in a very traditional way. In other words, they try to read the letters in the law and do exactly what the law is asking them to do, instead of seeing the opportunity to offer new services and products to their clients, to their customers. Now, I see that they should focus more on changing the way they understand the markets all around them. Nowadays, the biggest chunk of population all over the world are millennials. Millennials are a completely new generation. They live their lives digitally, and they understand the world in a completely different way. So they need to spend money to change their mind. They need to train themselves, to educate themselves. And of course, they need to spend money on technology for two reasons. The first one is because everything is available today through technology. Everything is on your pad or your mobile, etc. And on the second hand, because technology helps you take the cost down and utilize the most important asset we have, even you as a media company or us as a software company or them as a financial institution is human beings. And human beings should be doing clever things, not writing papers or checking numbers, etc. So you can spend money on technology and take your costs down while using your personnel in better jobs.
Well, exactly. It is, as you say, about people time management. So where's the role of the FinTech sector in this? Because obviously as great innovators, this is somewhere where they're probably pioneering new ideas and new concepts.
I think most of the innovators are taking very much into they incorporate a lot the idea of people's time management within their products and services. To give you an example, while I was coming here, hopping in and out from the tube, I remembered that I needed to send some money to my son who's studying at the university, and I just did it using an application of one of Profile's clients actually. Send money from my account to his account, and he can use using his debit card right away. And I didn't need to stand to queue on a bank or wait for 5 or 10 minutes. It was on the go. And I think this is very important I really believe it, that this is very important, not only for the new generation, not only for our sons and our daughters. It is very important for our generation too, because we learn to live our lives easier and we learn to do many things at the same time.
And when it comes to established organizations, how do they get that balance between responding to the burden of the regulatory authorities and then, of course, the disruptors of the FinTech companies? What's the foundation of the solution to get that balance right in their response?
Let me tell you at the beginning that the reason that we call these established organizations traditional organizations also is because they follow traditional ways to respond. While the FinTech are looking only how to serve within the law concept, established organizations need to understand which of their services are more important for their clients at this very moment and disrupt themselves. Otherwise, somebody else will do.
We know it's about people, we know it's about time management, but it's definitely about technology. And when we talk about technology, where do you think businesses should be spending their money? Where should they be investing?
Technology is a key element, and they need to spend their money in technology in two different roads and make sure that these roads are there. The first one has to do with technology that is state of the art, that is really brand new, and this is because technology has changed, has been disrupted on its own. Nowadays we're talking about omni-channels. In other words, we're talking about solutions that are capable to respond to every different device, to your tablet, my mobile phone, or your desktop. And the legacy system you have here as a media company that has to be taken care of for cybersecurity reasons, etc. So technology has to be brand new, and at the same time, you need to make sure that your software vendor, apart from holding new technology, to having the experience and bringing with them the functionality as well as the know-how, the business know-how, to offer you business practices. So you need to spend money very wisely, otherwise you hold technology but not best practices, or you hold best practices but not technology.
What about Profile Software? Where do you fit into all of this? How do you help your clients?
Profile fits in this area by specializing only in the financial industry. We bring in the arena two different platforms that are delivering vertical solutions to cover several needs. Our oldest platform is the wealth management platform and applications that offer solutions for asset managers, mutual funds, hedge funds, family offices, even personal and private banking. Now there's the other solution, the other platform that has to do with the banking system and offers solutions for core banking system, for small and medium banks, to peer-to-peer banking, risk management, crowdfunding, etc. So through the years, we disrupted ourselves. So we started by offering a portfolio management system back in 1990, and today we offer robo-advisors and crowdfunding solutions to our clients, because they are also traditional organizations or FinTechs themselves.
One thing about all of this change is that it's also going to mean a change of systems. And a lot of businesses will say that's all very well, we would love to embrace the change, but we have this whole legacy system already. How do we integrate the old with the new?
Well, this is what takes, let's say, 1/4, even 1/3 of a project. We're very keen to let the organization keep their legacy system. So thankfully, there are ways that the software communicates with each other. The three-letter word in this case is API, application language that they talk between each other. So this is the way we do it. We try to focus on solving the problem and not creating new ones. So we keep the legacy system and we go on top, communicating in real time with straight through processes all the time, real time, straight through, no manhand in that, in order to help solving the issue or disrupting the organization, as I say.
One thing we know is there's a lot of change in the financial and banking sector at the moment, whether it's coming from the disruptors or coming from regulation. There's a lot there for the industry to think about. So thank you for giving us some clarity and some insight in what we can be seeing in the future. Theodore Krintas from Profile Software, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Alistair, you and the Telegraph for having us here today.